This is a test. This is a test of the Acoustic Homestead Project. This is only a test.
It took me a little while to pick up the guitar, but after I started picking up the guitar and learning that, that's when I realized that I want to make my own music. I want to solo produce.
And what it takes is dedication and hard work.
Whether you're listening or playing, somebody can relate to something, and yeah, it's a feel good thing for sure.
Hey guys, welcome back to the AHP Studio Podcast. I've decided to take a different approach on my introductions here because I feel like posting local events is not really necessary due to the fact that most of the people that are listening to this podcast are probably already following those pages on social media to find out what's happening in the local music scene. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to do that anymore. It just seems to be more trouble than it's worth. With that being said, I do think that if I'm going to do this podcast, I want to be having fun with it, and I don't want it to be so robotic or, I don't know, old-fashioned radio broadcasting bullshit. I really just want to get into having these musical conversations with people, and I'm a little bit blocky here to begin with because I've never really tried to interview my friends. So even talking to my friends, these recordings, I sound like I'm talking to someone who speaks a different language, or I don't know. Some of these interviews, I feel like I'm a little bit blocky, or like I'm wearing 10-pound shoes in this metaphoric, you know what I mean, situation. So I'm going to take that away and just try to be more collective and nonchalant. And it's I can't say that for this interview because it was already recorded before I had a bit of mindset change. But anyway, you can take it as it is. This is a friend of mine, Jonathan Woodall. He's a great musician. You can find his music on YouTube and Spotify. And yeah, hope you enjoy this episode. Thank you. How are you doing, John?
I'm doing really good. This is a nice, peaceful view, really a good setting for this today. How are you doing today, Richard?
I'm great. I'm very blessed to be at the Peaceful Bend Winery once again for this. Thank you, Katie and Clyde, for letting me do these recordings here. I was hoping to get into what are the really early inspirations and influences in your life that drove you to be the musician you are today.
So yeah, if we take it back really early, it took me a while to realize, you grow up one way, you think you're gonna do one thing, but I think it was about third grade, and I was in art class, and one of my teachers, I think her name was Miss McCall, actually, and she said, "I want you guys to create album artwork of how this person's music makes you feel, or how you think this artwork should look." And back then, I was just so obsessed with Bryan Adams, especially the song "Summer of '69." Just something about it, like growing up and working hard. It's just something that really touched home. And I remember drawing like him with a guitar. I mean, I was in third grade, get me? So it was a really bad drawing. But it was him and a guitar and like flames behind it. But for some reason, the sky was clear and blue. Um, and that's when I really, I wanted to be an influence. I wanted to be somebody that people would notice, and maybe some third grade kid would draw a picture of and think, "Wow, this guy's really cool."
That's that's some deep stuff, man.
Mhm.
Do you want to so like going through like middle school and high school, did you have continuing influences?
Yeah, I would say I definitely had continuing influences. That was more of the influence of letting me know that I wanted to be somebody. I didn't want to be just a blue collar worker doing the same thing over and over again every day. Growing up, I started hanging out with buddies that were very musically talented. One guy was just phenomenal on guitar, and I don't want to say he was the most talented man I ever knew. I want to say he was the most skillful man I ever knew. Because someone's like, "Oh wow, you're really good at this," and I'm like, "Well, take into account the fact that I've spent years doing this," and that's what he did. He spent years working and getting better and perfecting his art of playing the guitar, and that's really what it was for him. It was an art. It was work, to say. And then I had another friend who he was more on the talented side. He didn't practice as much. He didn't really try for it, but he loved singing and he loved making lyrics. We would rap and we would love, making songs like, harmonic songs, just more ones that flow. And he and my other buddy would just throw something together like it was nothing. And I just wanted to get my foot in the door. I'm like, these guys are really good at what they do. I want to be a part of this. And when I got into high school, it seemed like the only thing that I could get to doing was drums. Like, it was just, I thought it was cool at the time, and I really didn't want to get into reading notes. So I got on the drum set, and I did that for about 6 or 7 years, but that was able to get my foot in the door with these guys, and I was able to keep the beats for them and write lyrics every once in a while. But it kept me interested throughout, the later parts of middle school and high school.
Right on. So like as you progressed through high school and went into college and everything, now you're doing like tech stuff and it's a whole different world. Are you incorporating any of that college knowledge into your music life?
Actually, I kind of am. So when I initially went to Missouri Southern, and I was going for criminal justice, and it wasn't really something that I saw myself doing long run, so I ended up leaving there. Took a couple years, working those blue collar jobs, really cemented into me that, this is not something I want to do for the rest of my life. And at a certain point, I figured out that I would like to get into the technology of things because it's always changing and I love learning. So I got into State Technical College in Missouri, and I got into their electronics engineering technology program. And in my music, what I use that to implement it in is using the audio boards, and I built my own PC for my first studio, and it's something that I've just really enjoyed doing.
Right. That's a great thing. There's a little blip in the time frame where we met, and it was a little bit early on in your, I guess, more your push to project your music.
Yeah.
It was a little bit before that, or maybe in the midst of that.
It was
when we first met.
It was right in the midst of that, if I remember correctly. So I got back from Missouri Southern down in Joplin, and it took me a little while to pick up the guitar. But after I started picking up the guitar and learning that's when I realized that I want to make my own music. I want to solo produce, right? So I started trying to write my own songs, get my own riffs down, write the guitar parts, and learn how to sing because it was atrocious for a while. And one day when I had switched from guitar to ukulele because I felt proficient on the guitar, and I took my ukulele out to this park, and I'm sitting on this bench by this stream right here in Stillville, Missouri, actually. And I was just enjoying the day. It was a beautiful day, and this weird guy comes walking up to my right. He's still a ways away, and he's carrying a guitar. Well, I don't know if he realized what I was saying, but I said, "It's a great day to be playing music," and he kind of nodded my head at me like I was the weird guy, which we both thought we were weird. It's okay.
It was funny because I was just sitting, by myself with my guitar, and you walk up to me with a big old Great Dane named Scooby-Doo, and I didn't even know you had a ukulele strapped to your back, and you were just like, well, it's a good day to be playing music, ain't it? And I was like, yeah, I think so. And you were like, you mind if I join you? And I was like, that's fine. And you pulled this ukulele out from behind your back, and I was like, whoa. And then we just kind of hit it off and talked for a little bit, and I played some songs for you, you played some songs for me, and then you went and bought me lunch, and we had a pretty good day, and we've been friends ever since.
Yep, that was the beginning of the history of it, and for that summer, really spent a lot of time just making music and getting to know each other and helping each other out in like the most various ways possible.
Yeah, it was a very interesting and influential time in my life as a musician. It's pretty fucking cool. But man, it's been really great to talk to you. If you want, if you'd like to play one of your original songs for the audience, we can get that set up here in a moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to do that.
All right, then we will break away for just a second and get that set up.
All right. This song is called "Dried Up." It's one of the first songs I wrote. I think it's about the third song I wrote, and it's on my my first album, which is the only one I got out right now. Let's get right into it. I won't talk up a storm. I'd rather listen to your voice than my own. Tell me how this world's gonna end. Oh, I'll sit here till the last call comes again. You say it's been getting warmer and our hearts are freezing over. A lack of empathy, there's the blame. When you get to your point and your drink is all but finished, you say, boy, this ignorance sure tastes good. So hand me a bottle from the top of the bar. Give me some friends that can laugh until the dawn. Forgive me if I seem weary at heart. I'm trying to remember the time before the dark. So when they turn the lights out, we prepare for war. Light up another strong one and go numb out that door. I know this time we spend forgetting makes this life worth its living. But Lord, I'm just about dried up. Oh Lord, I'm just about dried up. They say I've been drinking too much, and I don't think it's nearly enough. I've been dreaming on getting out of town, and I can't think of a better way than to drown. I've been living this hell for a couple of years. The more that we live it, the better it feels. Why ain't nobody standing up to make it right? Somewhere along the way we lost our fight. Now we're following the sheep riding down the line. Well, if ignorance is bliss, then this is the end. So hand me a bottle from the top of the bar. Give me some friends that'll laugh until the dawn. Forgive me if I seem weary at heart. I'm trying to remember the time before the dark. So when they cut the lights out, we prepare for this war. Light up another strong one and go numb out that door. You know, this time we spend forgetting makes life worth living. But Lord, I'm just about dried up. Oh Lord, I'm just about dried up.
All right, guys, this was Jonathan Woodall with the AHP Studio Podcast. I had a really great time hanging out with Jonathan today. It was a beautiful day at the Peaceful Bend Winery to be enjoying some good conversation. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed as well. Thank you for listening and stay in the loop.